Hey there, guys. It's me, Greg, back again. Catskills TCG in the making. We are working and we are growing. I think this is video 4. Time flies when you're talking to yourself on the internet and, whatever else. Yeah, so again, going to give an update where we're at, what the plans are, what we're doing, what we're thinking about. Biggest thing is, I think I mentioned it in the last video, is that we have the domain. So our domain is ours. It will be catskillcollectionstcg.com. I do own that domain, so that's awesome. Like I said in the last video also, that it's great that everything aligns with the name. You want to keep everything consistent. And for me, that was a really important thing to get going. The next route might be the LLC route. It can only help, it can't hurt. But I'd have to look more into that and the costs and all the stuff like that. I am leaving for Cooperstown in a couple of days to go coach there. So I won't be around to obviously look at that type of stuff, whatever. I'll be coaching baseball. It's a pretty crazy week up there in Cooperstown. If you've been there before as a coach, parent, it's crazy. But today's biggest update is the website. Now, I'm someone I'm not artistic at all. I can't even draw a stick figure. It's bad. It's bad. I avoid drawing and art at all times. So, I mentioned in previous videos, fear, right? The fear of doing things that you're not good at, or that you're afraid to do, or that they're new to you, right? And that's where we're at. This whole journey is new for me. Everything I'm doing is scary. Is new, but we take it day by day. Like I said earlier too, you can't cheat the process. You can't cheat, what you're doing. You gotta take it day by day and step by step, and you can't cheat. You can't, go too soon or whatever else. So we're taking it day by day. I've been working on the website now for about a week. I've made some edits, made some changes there. The cool thing is too, I mentioned it in the last video also, is Wix. You can create the website for free, and you don't have to put any money into it until you're ready to go live, which is great. So I've been editing it, been trying to make it look more and more official, if that makes sense. I wanted to flow, wanted to be easy to navigate, wanted the color schemes to look good. I actually have a buddy who's going to draw me a logo, he said, for the Catskills TCG. He's like, what if I draw you like a cat in the mountains, like a Pokemon or whatever? And I was like, dude, he's an artist. He is an artist. So I said, whatever you think is best, send it over. I will look at anything you got. I appreciate you, even wanting to do that for me. So that's pretty cool. Speaking about being appreciative, everyone that, again, has followed the YouTube, the Instagram, the Twitter that I made, there's a lot of awesome people in the community that have reached out or retweeted or showed support, and I truly can't say thank you enough. I can't. My biggest concern is growing a following, right? And because you can't be out here doing it by yourself. You can't be selling to nobody. You have to have some kind of clientele and some kind of people that visit your website or your social media or whatever. And so far, I have, maybe it's only 20 followers or whatever, but it's more than 0. It's more than I ever thought I would have on a brand new account. I've had my main Twitter account since Carmelo Anthony got traded to the Knicks. That's why I made the account, was to go on Twitter and see what the deal was for Carmelo Anthony. 15, 20, years later, here I am on Twitter still, and it's still that main account. And I may have 1,000 followers now, but that took over 10 plus years. I can't wait 10 plus years to get that following on Twitter now if I'm trying to make a business out of this. You know what I'm saying? So, again, anyone that follows, retweets, listens to me talk to myself on here, again, you're appreciated more than I can express, and I thank you for that. So, what the plan is next? Obviously, we have the domain, working on the website, and now it's figuring out product. I've been toying with the fact that I use my own, and I will, for the most part, to get started. My singles and my slabs, I will go through and I will figure out, what I want to keep, what I don't want to keep, I have some cards that, I pulled a Gasly IR on my birthday for my girlfriend and my kids. They gave it to me packs, and I pulled the Gasly, and then it got a 10. So, for me, that's a card that I may never let go. That has value, sentimental to me. But things that I'm ready to let go of, things that I no longer want to hold on to, I will let go. Dragonites will stay. Don't get it twisted. Dragonite is my PC, so that will stay. But any other slabs, any other singles, those are all, up to be grabbed. I actually have I have eight products on the site already. 7 singles and 1 graded slab. I'm trying to make sure that, when you go to the singles page, it's just singles. When you go to the graded page, it's graded cards, And I've honestly really impressed myself with the website. Like I said, I have no background in anything like that. And I'm just watching other people's videos and advice and this and that and playing around with it. And it's really cool how far it's come. It really is. I never thought I'd be able to create that. But I am. I never thought I'd be able to do this. And, we're here. I'm not doing it yet. I haven't made it at all by any means. I'm still talking to myself here on the internet and on YouTube. But there's potential, and then there's a little bit of growth that I've seen in just this 2 weeks that really gives me excitement going forward. I'm doing this because I want to do something that I love, something that I care about, something that I connect with. Not everyone maybe likes Pokemon or agrees that a 30-year-old man should have Pokemon cards and be involved in this hobby, whatever. I don't care. I don't care what people say anymore. I'm gonna do what I want to do, what I love, and what makes me happy. I don't really care what anyone has to say about that. If I try this and it doesn't work out, then I know that I gave it 110%. Everything I could, and it's just not for me. Maybe I'm just too late, and I don't have the certain marketing skills or whatever it is needed to do this. I know I can sell cards and whatever else, but like I said, I'm not trying to be someone who just sells and flips cards. I want to be a sustainable name, up here in the Catskills. There's not many TCG shops up here in general. The ones that there are, they're very far away from each other. I used to go to play at a card shop, and I had to drive almost 2 hours to get there from where I am right now. So, when I was starting to do this and start, I was thinking about brick and mortar, have a store, have my own place. The funding is the issue. Being a teacher is the issue. So getting my own spot like that doesn't make sense, right? I don't want to be in debt the rest of my life trying to get out of this hole if it doesn't work out. I want to do this the most reasonable, smart way possible, with at little down cost as possible, right? Because you're gonna have to pay for your domain and your website and things like that, and your LLC license and everything like that. But that's natural cost that you have to pay to get going. Everything else that you pay to buy product or whatever else, that's not, that's expenses, right? So going into it, I want to have a little down money putting into this as possible. I have my own product, which is a great start, which is huge. I do want to try and sell Japanese booster boxes. I'm working on that right now. I'm waiting to see what's going on with the tariffs, right? I am not the most knowledgeable person on that type of stuff. I watch videos, whatever else, but no one really knows, right? Trump can change his mind at any moment, and then it'll go somewhere else different, and then we're figuring it out again, right? It used to be you can order $800 and below and not get tariffed. People are saying that might change now. So before I start putting money into that, I'd rather know what's going on, right? Being responsible. I'm not going to throw money into getting Japanese booster boxes when I can't move them right now myself, right? I'm not up and running yet as a site, so you can't just go on there and buy a box yourself right now. I don't want them just sitting around so they can get destroyed, then I'm out money. So singles and slabs will be the way to go. I have some things sealed that I could put on the site. Things up there, probably not. That I won't lie. The 151 ETB, I might have to just let it go because it's at a price now where I don't know, man. I just don't know. Maybe I have time to let it go. I had fun ripping that set. Where that's at now, I will never touch that and rip it open again. So, I have my Evolving Skies and I have my, EV Heroes box there. Those two will probably stay in the PC for as long as possible. But, everything else sealed-wise is fair game. I have a booster bundle display of 151 also. That could go. I have a Lost Origins booster box. That could go. So well, I have my own collection of stuff, right? I will try and add more where I can, where it makes sense English-wise. Smaller things that I can put up on a site and sell at a little bit of a higher, cost, whatever. I recently just traded for a Charizard EX Paldean Fates tin that has 5 packs in it. It's going for like $80 to $95. I got it for $65 value, right? So if I can find things like that, 100%, cool. I do it, But yeah, pick and choose here and there. Facebook Marketplace, I've reached out to some people on there. They have some unrealistic ideas about the conditions of their cards and the price of their cards. One guy wanted me to just use Cash App. No, I won't use Cash App. Sorry. But yeah, so we'll keep going from there and figure it out. Today's show off thing. We talk a lot about FOMO and how to manage your money and, how to budget your money and make smart purchases, right? And I was looking for a case to bring to shows, put slabs in and whatever. And I was going to get a Zion case. Big brand name, right? Brand names cost more. They're like $70, maybe a little bit more. But my buddy was like, yo, go on eBay or wherever and look up this certain box, and it's $25. Super cheap. $25. And it works just as well as, the other big name ones. I have some slabs in here. I guess I could go for those slabs, I guess. But, this box was $25, and it works fantastic. It does the job. My friend, thanks for letting me know about that. But, like I'm saying, so you don't always have to buy the newest, shiniest, coolest things that everyone has or that the biggest companies want to sell you. It's okay to go different routes, right? That's okay to do that. So I guess I will show you guys what's in here, actually. I have some cards here that I will be grading, actually. So I can show everyone this next grading submission. The camera over here a little bit. So the first one is a Dragonite Grail. It is the No Hollow Error Dark Dragonite. 5 out of 82. There it is. It does have whitening on the bottom back there. I don't know if you can even tell. Sorry about the glare. So I'm thinking it will probably get a 5 or a 6. Actually, I'm going to write that down. My little guess right here. But yeah, I'm hoping for a 6. 1 second. I'm going to write it down. Okay. So I have that when it comes back. I can see what I've guessed. The front is super clean. Back has some whitening. No creases, but for a Dragonite fan, this is such a sick card to own. It really is. I never thought I would own it. And a mutual on Twitter, Rayquaza, she has claim sales on there. And this is where I got that from. So the next 3 I traded for. Again, I told you guys earlier, I love to trade to get what I want. If I don't gotta spend any cash, that's what we're gonna do. And thanks to these 3, I now have every Evolution VMAX collected. Funny fact is I had this in a 10, and I traded a Collecticon, and then I got the Espeon VMAX in a 10, and I was like, I kind of want all of them now. So I traded about $600 in value for all these, I think, or like $650 or something like that. No, way more than that. Scratch that. But yeah, the values were like $275, $290, and this was like $350 or something like that. But it was all for trade, so again, no, and it was all things that I want that I was okay to get rid of, right? When I trade things, I don't want to have trader's regret. So I make sure that things that I don't want anymore. Now, those cards I was cool with getting rid of. The biggest card probably being a Flareon EX from Prismatic that I pulled out of the Demigod pack. These next two are promos that I had myself. I had this tin. I bought this tin for about $150 like 3 years ago. I opened it and then it went crazy. This card went crazy in price and the tin went crazy in price, and well, I have it, so it is what it is. It's super, super clean. These are both super, super clean. Now, PSA, I know you won't give me 2 10s on these two cards, but one of them better be. So I'm going to write tag teams 1 PSA 10. I will not be greedy. Oh, and on the alts, VMAXs, I will take 2 out of 3 10s. Okay, I am realistic. I know PSA has been crazy of late. I've seen 2 different posts, 60 cards total, 8 10s. One guy had 6 out of 30, the other one had 2 out of 30. And another one with 2 out of 30 is a known guy on Twitter who knows what he's doing. And yeah, good thing he's rich, Steven. The last card is a card I got at Collecticon. It's a Mega Latios. And this thing is so clean that I have to send it. There is not... Imagine getting a 10 on this now. I paid $40 for this at Collecticon. I traded plus $40 for this. So that would be a huge come up if I got that for a 10. So I'm going to write that for the 10, Mega 10. But it came in lower than a 9. 10 or a 9. I will not take an 8 on that card. But yeah, we're 17 minutes in. You guys are probably, what the heck, man? Get out of here. So I will. Have a great day, y'all. Again, thank you for the support. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.